Debo, best football player. P.S. Let's beat the Cowboys. I think he's the best offensive weapon in the league. I saw him on the same field as Cooper Kupp. I'll take Debo. And I think Cooper's great.
To me, if we're talking just skill players, I got to go to a couple games this season, and this is where, I've had a lot of discourse about Brandon Ayuk that really upsets people. Grant, you and I had it. Me and Eric Crocker had it on his morning show last Tuesday. But what stands out to me, and the reason I say Debo is faster than Ayuk, is when I saw them in person. Debo, to me, I didn't get to see Raheem Mostert in that game. Maybe he would have looked a different speed. Debo just moves a different speed than everybody else. There's just this play speed and play explosion to Debo. I mean, I thought his touchdown run yesterday was the prime example. It was a good play call, was blocked up, but Debo Samuel was the only player on the field that's scoring on that play.
Can we just talk about how important Debo Samuel was in this game? Because again, the quarterback gets all the credit, but they were down 17-3, and then he ripped off a 16-yard touchdown run, which he's been doing like breathing the last 2 months. He does it all the time. And then the next drive, he throws a 24-yard touchdown pass. So he erases. It's not like, well, yeah, he made nice catches, but there were nice throws. Like, no. Handoff, he erased the deficit. He was right there with Armstead and Jimmy as MVPs of this game. Although Jimmy, we're going to talk about Jimmy next.
Absolutely. He's special.
It's like that one scene from I Love You, Man, Jimmy G fans in your face, Niner fans that know Trey's better with puke on their face. This is not cool. Yeah, Niner fans are ready to this necks right now, right? It's a civil war, Niner fans going on. Oh, well. Finally, Banana Hands didn't let one slip away. That's funny because it's the Banana Hands. You get it? You get it? Niner, not a bot. Not a bot. Okay, we'll take you seriously then. Am I late? What excuse did Vish the Clown have for his hero stat, Padford, and his hatred for Jimmy performing better than him? Ooh, that was really mean.
Yeah, that was harsh, but
harsh.
I mean, obviously, I'm ecstatic that Jimmy played well enough to win the game because I'm a Niners fan, but I don't think Jimmy played better than Matthew Stafford in this game.
Jimmy had a running game. Stafford didn't.
Jimmy, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm happy to jump on the Matthew Stafford whatever because like the Niners won, they're in the playoffs, but he just
the problem with the Rams isn't Stafford; it's the fact that they're utterly one-dimensional on offense.
I mean, yeah, he just threw 41 touchdowns. They just won the NFC West. They're hosting a playoff game.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy lost twice to the Seahawks. Does that invalidate everything he did in your eyes, Niner? Not a bot?
I mean, it's okay though. I love it. I love it because you know what? I'm that excited.
Oh, we're gonna get a lot of this today, Vish.
Yeah.
I said I would tell you so I told you Stafford is a bum. No, I was way harsh on him last night, and thinking back on it, like he had no running game. What would Jimmy look like if they averaged 2.4 yards per carry? I think I know what he would look like.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't. We don't need to have this conversation today.
Is the D-line that good, or is the Rams O-line that bad? Can we expect the same results from the D-line against the Cowboys? Well, the one thing was like, they didn't do what the Titans did. The Titans did max protection with like all the extra blockers. They went the opposite direction. Empty. 5 blockers. Didn't work.
Yeah, they got their butts handed to them in this game.
McVay is, to me, when I see him, I always think he's so overrated because he always loses to the Niners. But then he beats everyone else in the league, like breathing, right? He beat the Bucs.
To me, he has a really, really good philosophy. He has a good system. He's a solid game manager and all of that. And that's why he's won so many games. Also, he's managed a very talented team. But the Niners they're just all over his offense, right? They have like 2 or 3 runs that they do really, really well, and they go back to them. The Niners were eating those runs for breakfast yesterday. They eat them every time they play them. So
the way I looked at it was like they had a couple things that worked in the first quarter, and D'Amico was like, okay, all right, okay, that we're shutting that down. And Rams were like, oh, but those are the 3 things that we do.
I was actually tweeting about it during the game, and I was, even after the first drive, I wasn't that convinced that the Niners defense was playing poorly when it was 17-0 because I felt like the things that the Rams were doing were not like the throws Stafford was making from muddy pockets to guys in like hair hole, pinhole windows that he was putting on these guys, whether it was Kupp, the first third down to Beckham. I was like, this isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I really felt like as long as it didn't get to 24-0 or 20-0, where it became 4 possessions, or 3 possessions, I felt like the Niners, were right there, and
The thing that he did that Tannehill didn't do was the picks. Tannehill and the
yeah,
Titans were like, "We're just not gonna do anything on offense. We're just gonna be
right,
bad today." And
right,
oh, like not bad, but like just nothing. And
right,
Stafford just I don't want to talk about him too much, but my impression he just kind of loses his patience. He's like, "I'm going. We've been stuck in neutral. I'm taking a shot." Like, okay,
right.
anyway,
I mean, the
yeah,
pick that he threw though, especially because Mosley was tagged down, was basically the equivalent of a punt. I remember in the NFC Championship game when Tom Brady threw 3 of those in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game because it's Tom. Everybody referred to it as quote unquote arm punts, even though he just threw 3
that's
interceptions in the
true. That
fourth
is a
quarter
good
of the
point.
NFC
That's a good point.
Championship.
Remember that. Mark Lamar says, "Please ask Jimmy how he can play with that chip for 4 quarters." He looked fine. Fine. Guys, there are a ton of comments lining up. We're gonna finish up our last 2 comments and then hit all the our last 2 topics and then hit all the comments because I don't want you guys to wait too long for Vicious analysis of the Cowboys. And I don't want him to wait too long either while we go over comments. So thank you, Mark.